Hey guys, Josiah Blizzard here, and if you didn't know already, I just released my new preset pack, the tried and true preset collection. And there's a lot of presets in here, guys, and they're broken up into two different kind of bundles, if you will. The first is what I call pre-made looks. These are the typical kind of presets that you'd find from other people, except instead of having like 6 or 8 different presets in the bundle, there's actually over 50 different variations and looks. So there's a lot of pre-made looks that are already available to you. And the second variation is what I call freestyle presets, okay? These are essentially micro adjustments that are stackable presets that you can go through all contrast and exposure. You can go through white balance, HSL, color grading, additional adjustments, and you can kind of build out your own look. You can build out your own style without ever touching the sliders, and you can visualize everything in the preset tab by just hovering over the preset. That is the preset pack, and I have a video here that I released that explains a lot more about it, and you can actually head to triedandtruepresets.com to learn more. But I wanted to dive into Lightroom and give you guys a quick demo of how to use these presets, how to use the pre-made looks, and how to use the freestyle presets. So let's jump into Lightroom. All right, so we are in Lightroom now, and I just want to give you guys a quick demo of how these presets work. It's going to be pretty quick, pretty simple. I did have a live stream not too long ago where I went through a whole bunch of images, so you can check that out in the cards. It's linked in the cards here or in the description, but I'm just going to show you how these work, okay? So over here in the preset tab, we have a whole bunch of folders, okay? We have 8 different folders. All right, it says there's 7, but there's 8 because there's a 00 here, okay? The first 3 are your pre-made looks, what I call pre-made looks, okay? So you have some black and whites, you have some cool undertones, you have some more natural looking imagery, stuff that might be truer to life, and you can see how it looks just by me hovering over, which is really great. So this is why you guys should nail exposure and white balance correcting camera. I'm probably a little bit overexposed, but all of these would work. And like if we look at light and airy 2 here, a little bit overexposed, so I'll click that and then I'll actually just bring the exposure down, and then I want to punch the contrast up a bit and the dehaze up a bit to add a little bit more punch, and there you go. That's super easy, right? Image is done, okay? So that's the natural pre-made. Let's go into the stylized pre-made. All right, you have a whole bunch of kind of adventurous looks and feels here. You have a dark and moody charcoal style here. Some of these, you know, there's 3 different charcoals, so deep shadows doesn't work all the time. Lighter shadows is what I tend to use most. We can move into some more cinematic style imagery. Cold night, this is for night shots, so not gonna work in the daytime. Dynamic range, frosted feels, and I will mention that frosted feels here, you can see in the green of the grass that it doesn't work 100%. So you might have to go into frosted feels and then come down into the HSL and tone down the green a little bit to get it to be exactly what you want. Nonetheless, they are all good starting points to get you about 90% of the way there. I wanted these to get you as far to the final product as possible, okay? So those are the looks at the pre-made looks here. We also have creative night portraits, which I'm not going to dive into because they are made for night imagery and are not going to really work that well during the day. Now, let me go into the freestyle presets. These freestyle presets are micro adjustments, and they're broken into a whole bunch of different folders. You have contrast and exposure, white balance, HSL adjustments, color grading, and additional adjustments. The point of these is to, if you wanted to build an image, a look from scratch, all you have to do is use presets. You don't have to touch anything in the sliders here. You just have to touch the presets. And you can do all this by hovering over and previewing what the image is going to be. So let's say we're going to start, I want you guys to start in the contrast and exposure. First thing you're going to do is step 1. This is basic adjustment, all right? This adds, over here you can see it actually takes down the exposure a bit, does this back and forth with the highlights going down, shadows up, whites down, blacks up, a little bit of dehaze, does some stuff in the, it actually does some stuff here in the tone curve, all right? So it adds a basic adjustment, all right? This is actually big pop as well, is in the tone curve. If you want a less of a pop, you can do little pop here, all right? And then we can actually go in and increase some shadows, increase the blacks, You can bring the highlights down. Let's bring the exposure down as well. We can add a little bit more dehaze, maybe a little more contrast. And that actually right there looks really good. Here's the before, there's the after. All I've done is tweak the contrast and exposure, right? So now let's head into the white balance. Let's say our white balance was off. Let's say we actually shot this image pretty cold. So let me tone that down there, all right? In here, you have all of these different presets, all right? Auto, cloudy, daylight, flash, fluorescent, shade, sunset, and tungsten. Now, this was at sunset, so I'm assuming, sunset might be the best here. So let's choose sunset. We can take a look. It's at 9,000. I'm actually pretty happy with that, but it looks a little bit magenta, so we're just gonna come in here and tone that down a little bit. Again, these should get you 90% of the way there, and then you may have to use the sliders a tad bit, but yeah. Okay, so we're in the HSL now, so let's do some hovering here and see what these do. You want to mute the greens a little bit, we could mute the greens, or we could warm the greens up. So actually I like warmer yellow / green 3. Let's move into color grading, and we can see what the color grading does. And to be honest, guys, sometimes you don't even need to turn this on. You don't want to turn this on, don't feel like you have to use all of it. All right, so let's do skin tone fix. It warms up the skin a little bit. Additional adjustments. Let's say we wanted to add a little bit of grain. We can add some grain. The 1, 2s, and 3s are levels of grain. So grain 1 is a little bit of grain. Grain 2 is a lot more grain, and grain 3 is a lot of grain. All right. Same goes with natural, medium, heavy. All right. So let's actually add in a heavy amount of green. Let's turn lens corrections on, and there you have it. If I punch in to render out this grain, you have a pretty solid image. I touched the sliders maybe once to adjust the magenta. This is our before here, and this is our after. Okay, this was all done using the freestyle presets. Let's head over to another image, and actually I'll head to an image that I didn't take myself. We'll head on over to let's head on over to this is Paige's image. She's part of my Patreon membership group, and we're actually going to edit this image in 2 different ways. Okay, so let me duplicate this first. Let's edit this image with a stylized preset and see how that goes. So we'll do a quick hover. Like that looks great. Adventure 3 looks wonderful. I wouldn't have to do anything. Charcoal, lighter shadows looks pretty good. Some of these cinematic ones look pretty good. So honestly, all of these really work well. Like even the frosted feels works pretty well here as well. Some of them do. There's a lot of options for frosted feels, but yeah, let's go with that guy there, and then we'll actually just tone it down a little bit. Again, this is stylized, so this is going to be very different maybe than what your normal photos might look like. So do this if you know that your clients are going to love it. Let's reset this, and actually let's just apply a natural pre-made look. All right, so black and white works really well here. Maybe the softer one's better than the others. And maybe, we can do a vintage vibe here. I like the vintage vibe. Vintage, warm highlights. I dig that one a lot. Don't have to do anything to this image. It's done, right? So let's move on and edit this image now with a freestyle approach. All right, so we'll go to contrast and exposure. We can do basic adjustment. I'm going to add a little pop instead. We're going to boost some shadows, boost some blacks, take the highlights down. Take the exposure down. We're going to dehaze it a little bit, and we're going to contrast to +40. All right, move down into white balance, and I'm looking, this is at sunset again, right? We have that glow. I can see it was at 5800 Kelvin. So let's see what sunset does. So it warms it up a bit too much, so let's maybe not use those presets there. Let's come down and look at these other presets. All right, and you can see 6000K -5, 6000K -10, -15, 0, +5, +10, +15. What this means, and you can see as I hover over, is it's going from green to magenta. All right, so anything that has a minus has it leans towards green tint, and anything with a plus leads towards magenta tint. So I want magenta, so we'll do 6000. That looks pretty good, but let's say we wanted to warm it up even more. Is 7500 too far? I think 7500 might be a bit too far, but 7500 feels too much. 6000 doesn't feel enough, so let's find a middle ground and go 6500. And so what these are good for, if you even can't find the right color temperature, it at least lets you know if something's too warm or if it's too cold, and then you can kind of find the middle ground here, okay? So we've done white balance. Let's move into the HSL adjustment. Maybe move in some stuff from blue to teal. We could do that. We could fix some oversaturated skin, which she does have a little bit of oversaturation. And there's not a whole lot of greens, so we might just want to warm up the yellow greens here. Let's do that again. Let's move into color grading. And let's add a bit of a color grade. I want to keep this somewhat natural here, so we'll do green orange 1 and add a little bit of a green undertone to them. And then we'll move into the camera calibration, the additional adjustments. We'll add a little bit more green to the shadows. We'll lens correct. And there you have it, okay? I could probably bring down the exposure a little bit more. And there we go. 2 completely different looks using the freestyle presets and the pre-made looks, okay? 2 completely different looks. So that's how this works, guys. If you want to watch me edit more of these, you can check out the 3-hour-long live stream that I did walking through the entire preset collection, editing a whole bunch of your images and a whole bunch of my images, all right? If you guys are interested in purchasing, head to triedandtruepresets.com. You can get $30 off by using the code triedandtrue30 at checkout, or you can sign up for the membership, the Photo Club membership hosted on Patreon, and you'll get access to a whole bunch more, like my email templates, my workflows, my courses, live Q&As, monthly giveaways, and an exclusive Facebook community. I would love for you guys to join me over there. It's even cheaper right now than purchasing the presets separately, all right? And you'll have access to all future presets that come out as well. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Please, if you guys are using my presets, let me know. I would love for you guys to tag me on Instagram so I can see them. And if you have feedback about them, please, I'd love to know as well. I want to make these the best presets I possibly can. I will be adding more presets to this pack as time goes on as well. So all the more reason to hop into the membership and join us over there. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Head to triedandtruepresets.com to learn more about these presets, and you can either sign up for the membership over there where you're going to get more bang for your buck. You'll get the presets, but you'll also get my email templates, workflows, courses, live Q&As, giveaways, a Facebook community, a whole bunch more stuff included other than just the presets. Or you can purchase the presets outright. They're $65 right now, or you can use the code triedandtrue30 at checkout there and get a discount of $30 off. So that's the 2 options. So head to triedandtruepresets.com to learn more. And other than that, hit that like button to help me beat the YouTube algorithm, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much and take care.